let's see how he said it. He said, "Oh goddamn, those are some nappy-headed hoes right there. That's for sure." Well, I wonder if he really thought, well, those are ugly black women on that basketball team in that picture. Or did he just think, I think I'm making fun of a picture right now? And I've heard people say nappy when talking about anybody with an afro hairstyle of any color. I don't know. If he is racist, fuck him. And, like Goofy Bone, I think I'm pretty sure that Goofy Bone is racist. You can't be positive unless you've been around somebody a lot and you hear them talk in private. What they say in public's not always going to do it for you. But people that know me often listen to my show. They also know me in private, and they just know I don't have any racism in my heart. You have a burning building 50 feet away in one direction. It's got a black baby. Burning building 50 feet away in another direction, white baby. I'm flipping a coin if I can only save one baby, and I probably could because I'm slowing down in my old age. I'm flipping a coin. I don't have a preference for which color I'm going to save because I don't have racism in my heart. I mean, I've got black in my family now officially. I mean, it's a relatively new addition, but it's real and didn't change my outlook at all on race. And that's just the way it is. I mean, I don't know. I think some people are racist, admit they're racist, and think they have a good reason for being racist. But we may have different definitions of racism, because my definition of racism is when you think your race is superior to some other race for any reason, and that there are no exceptions. That's when you leave reality. You've left reality if you don't believe there's any exceptions. That's okay, you can leave reality, but I'm not with you anymore. We're not on the same discussion plane if you can't accept evidence for your beliefs, and if you accept evidence, you can't be racist. You cannot be racist and also insist upon evidence for all of your beliefs. The two are incongruent, and Goofy will have to look that one up. I don't know if he'll know how to spell it, but maybe somebody can help him. Anyway, I'm not going to play with the little kids anymore, but I do want to make sure, because when something like this happens, I do the same thing every time. I do a show, I get it off my chest, and I'm done with it. Now, this show, in one way, is a maturity check show. I had to keep my cool, and I've already got people doing research on these guys, and just to prepare myself, because I'm not going to do anything unless I just am over-provoked. But I've already got, paperwork coming on them, and I don't want to take this to the next level. I don't have time for negative emotion. I've always got time to whoop a little ass if somebody can squeeze me in, but other than that, I'd rather move on with something that can do something good for people, something that can help them learn and help me learn. I learn on my show all the time. It's part of my therapy, really. So, what I want to say on this show as a reference, this is the reference, is if anybody from this whole BWC, I guess it stands for bitches with clits, I haven't looked up the acronym, I'm just guessing based on the way they've acted, decides that they want to harass me or anything in the future, I'm not interested in what you can do with words. If you do decide you want to come out to my little town, though, this is the reference show where you're going to find out how to do it and how to get in touch with me. I want you to come to where I live. Come out to a little town called Matthews County, Virginia. 1T, Matthews County, Virginia. And when you get out here, you can just go to the middle of town. Very small town. It's only about 8,000, 9,000 people in the town, okay? All you got to do then is email me at whatsthedeal@yahoo.com. That's WUTZ, the deal, just like it sounds, at yahoo.com, which is the best way to get in touch with me, because oftentimes I don't even have my phone in the same room with me. Or you can call on the phone. But the problem is I get little bitches and, pranksters calling, so I usually leave the phone off unless it's showtime, and even then I don't have it on. I mean, these days I'm doing everything over Skype, and since I got the new mixer hooked up, that's not even hooked up right now. I tried it yesterday. I don't know how to use this mixer. It's not my thing. Audio's not my thing. So anyway, we'll get the call set up soon enough. But yeah, so it's best to just email me or message me on Facebook. But chances are, if you're one of those little bitch boys, you won't know how to get in touch with me on Facebook. You'll have to email me and tell me, Kev, I'm in town and I'd love to chat with you right now, and I will come to where you are any day. And if you're not going to do that, and you're going to be a little bitch and hide behind your computer all the way across the country and say mean little things, or you're going to call me on Blog Talk Radio while you're on Blog Talk Radio and try to fuck with me, but then you get your own ass whipped, so you hang up like Goofy Bone did twice tonight, I can't work with that. It doesn't it doesn't add anything to the public discussion. And not only is this a part of my intellectual determination to move on and do things that are meaningful, it's also a part of my maturity check. I'm doing both tonight, so I'm definitely checking myself tonight. Now, when it comes to people who are picking with you and digging at you, one of the things I can tell you from what I've learned in psychology is that oftentimes there's one of two major reasons they're picking with you. One is you have something they want, they're jealous of it, or you've offended them in some way that's meaningful to them. Usually it's one of those two things, or a combination of both of those things. You don't really get somebody coming after you unless they are either totally envious of you or you've really found a way under their skin in a big way. So you can just about bet that if you're being semi-stalked by anybody, especially on a platform like Spreaker, you either have something they want or you've pissed them off, and that's because they care about what you think and what you say about them. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind as we go on with this show. Now, for some reason, the GoofyTard tonight wanted to talk about how I was a nobody. Well, you guys know. What do I say pretty much every other show on this network? I'm a nobody. I don't mind being a nobody. I kind of like it small, to be honest with you. I do shows sometimes when I know I won't have a shitload of people in chat, so they won't fuck with me. I don't mind that at all. If you think I came on here to be a star, that would be somebody who's not in touch with reality. See, because I understand odds. And the odds were always against anybody showing up on Spreaker and going from there to radio stardom. And I tried to trick Goofy into admitting that he thinks he's going to be somebody tonight. And he called me one of those mushrooms. I was just doing my show, and you keep popping up like mushrooms. And I was thinking, hey, some people like mushrooms. You know that? Some people really love mushrooms. So I may have been hating on all the pot he's been smoking, but he was hating on shrooms. So you guys that do shrooms, you direct your complaints to him. I did not say anything negative about shrooms. I only picked on Mexicans and pot tonight. So... but seriously, I don't have anything at all against Mexicans. They're some of my favorite people. I've said on this show before that I think they are the hardest working group in America. I was at up in Northern Virginia when I worked on copiers back in, this was around 2009 when this happened. There's a whole bunch of Mexicans that would gather at these shopping centers, and they'd wait for day labor. And I always went to the same gas station on the way out. And I could just see how desperate they were, especially during the colder months. And I had a pair of work gloves that I hardly ever used, because when we would work on copiers, we'd have to work on these. There's a part inside a copier called a fuser. They get extremely hot. So sometimes we would use gloves so we could work on them instead of having to wait an hour for them to cool down to work on them. And I had this one, like some kind of oven mitt thing that another technician had recommended. So I didn't need my gloves. I had a nice pair of mechanics gloves. And I walked up to one of these two Hispanic dudes standing there, and they didn't speak English, and I didn't realize that till I talked to him. But I said, "Do you need a pair of gloves?" And I guess he thought I was asking him for something, because he held his hands up like, "No, I don't have anything." And I was like, "No." And I took my gloves out of my coat pocket and I gave them to him. I said, "You can have these if you want them." Oh my God, the guy put them on right away. "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." I was like, holy shit, you know, and they're just hoping for some work. They're not out there trying to steal off the welfare system or anything like that. So I don't know. I just felt like fucking with Goofy tonight. I don't have anything against Hispanics. I think my childhood Mexican friends, two of them I had, Jeffrey and Joseph, would laugh their heads off if you told them that I was racist against Hispanics. And I'm not racist against anybody. But if you want to believe that, you can. It's okay. You can even tell people I'm racist against other races. It just won't make sense to them if they know me. They won't understand what you're saying. So yeah, I called him a beaner. I called him a Mexican beaner or something. Fat Guido fucker. Yeah, I call him Italian too. Why not? Might as well offend other ones. I mean, should I call him a Polish superstar, kielbasa tard? I mean, should I even get into some of maybe the French and the African and the South African slurs? How about the Australian? Do they say anything nasty to people in, I don't know, Costa Rica? I mean, I could call them some of that too. And in the end, you'll just realize that I was essentially dealing with a bully mentality, and the way I deal with bullies is I walk up and I punch them straight in the fucking nose. Always how I've dealt with them, always how I will. Now, when they live all the way across the country, I'm in Virginia, they're in California, I have a good reach. I mean, I'm 6'5", 240. I've got a pretty good reach, but I can't reach California, so I have to sling some words out, so I did that instead. But make no mistake, this is a reference show. If you ever need to get in touch with me, and I encourage you to do it, especially if you need a little bit of an ass whooping to get you thinking right, come on out to Matthews, call me or email me. We will meet in public. I will not turn you down. Your appointment will be met on time or early. Guarantee it. Now, since I have that out of the way and I can, rest and relax a little bit again, we can get on to the better stuff, the good stuff. And I figured tonight was a good night to explain to you what I know and share a little bit of authority on the issue as far as, like a couple web articles about how to recognize idiots. Because here's one thing I can promise you. If someone is taking up your time in a negative way for any reason in this day and age, you should at least have the ability to diagnose them in your mind on an intelligence scale. And if they fall below, say, an 80 IQ, there's no reason you should be letting them get under your skin. Now, if they start jumping up around 110, 120 or higher, yeah, that criticism coming from them is probably going to sting a little bit. It would me, because I respect intelligent people, always have, because they put the time in. So I have automatic respect for them. They've put the time in to do the studying, connect the ideas, and make sense of the world. People that just choose a target and attack the target, see, what Goofy Bone is, take Bill O'Reilly, okay? Make him, I don't know, a foot shorter, add 100 pounds to him, make him brown, and take away his IQ. But keep his personality, but take away his IQ, okay? Because Bill O'Reilly's got a pretty decent IQ. He's probably up around 120, 130. There's your Goofy Bone. There's the GoofyTard. Right there's the GoofyTard. Now you know. See, I have a way of explaining things to you where as long as you know somebody else, you can know somebody you don't even know. As long as you know the famous person I'm referencing, you can know the unfamous person, the one that'll never be famous, the GoofyTard. Yeah, there you go. And well, that's what he is. Honesty is prevalent on this show, and it comes out in a fashion like a waterfall, where there's really no building a dam. It's just going to keep coming. It's just going to keep on coming. You can't stop it. Here's the thing about this show. This is kind of a weird. It's not an irony in the technical sense, but it feels ironic to me to think about it. I don't care if this show goes anywhere as far as success goes, and yet this show is going to fly past Goofy Bone. When I called into his show one time, because I was trying to listen to everybody on Spreaker, and I was trying to be, like I was on the Apocalypse bandwagon of get to know everybody. And as soon as I heard him start bitching about somebody on welfare and having no statistics to back up what he was talking about, I knew I was in trouble. I get nervous when I have to talk to people like that because I know I'm going to have to correct them. So I had to correct him. He was talking about foreign aid, and I said, do you know how much we give in foreign aid? No, I don't have the numbers in front of me, he said. He's probably deleted that show. I said, well, it's about 1%. Oh, okay. And it's just like, oh, why did I call into this show? I feel like I'm picking on a first grader, and I wasn't trying to do that, but I was not going to let people listen to what he was saying without facts. That's not in my nature. If I've got the facts, I insist on offering them. And yeah, I'm missing a Capitals game to do this show, but when things like this happen, I have to get it off my chest and go ahead and set the ground for the future. And it allows me to rest easy, although I hardly ever sleep. But I'm not going to pick on these guys anymore. I've got all the ammunition I need to annihilate them. And even if I didn't, take that away. If it was just me versus them, I still wouldn't be... I would be a professional team playing B-League players. And I don't want to do that. It doesn't feel good to me. It's like, if I'm going to get into a boss fight, it's got to be against somebody who's established themselves, who's got something to show for what they've done. So, anyway, yeah, we'll just go on talking about idiots. Now, are you going to let an idiot get under your skin? That's really the question. I think if the right words are used, I think an idiot can get under your skin, at least initially. But you should be able to know how to recognize an idiot and then ascribe a certain value to their words. which I don't. Someone like Goofy Bone, I literally tried to listen to his show after that show that I called into and couldn't.